Yesterday a game launched on the Nintendo Switch 2 called Chillin by the Fire, and it was very quickly under fire for appearing lazy, for being very lackluster, and for confusing a lot of people as to how this was able to sneak its way into a Nintendo Direct partner showcase. Since then, it's been about 21 hours, the game is out, and quite a bit has happened. The game has begun being reviewed by major outlets, and for some reason it took the team a while, but there is an official page for Chillin by the Fire up on Nintendo's website. I know that we could see the price before, but now it's a fully fledged page with an overview, a gallery and other details. So I've taken the time to look through that, and before I say anything else, I want to set the record straight on a few things, because there are a few sort of corrections I need to make that sort of build on what I said in the previous video. And also things that people may not be aware of. In the last video the price was £15. That has now seemingly changed when the page was relaunched, because it is now $13.49, which is $15. And don't get me wrong, that is still way too much for what's being offered, and I'm incredibly surprised that the game didn't launch discounted. The game was made by a team, not one guy. It's made by Oink Games. Now, they haven't made anything you would have heard of, but they make a lot of 2D puzzle games. It seems like they're some kind of board game company, and they lean very heavily into graphic design. So they've hardly made any video games as it is, and let me tell you, you have to start somewhere. You know, breaking out into the video game scene or any industry of the like is incredibly difficult. They have done well to make it this far, but I feel as though they sort of secured a spot in the Direct a very long time ago, before they'd fully explored 3D game making. It was a massive surprise to me to learn that there was a title behind this. This wasn't made by one guy. This was made by a legitimate team of multiple people. So say what you will about that. The main revelation I took from the official Nintendo page is that Chillin by the Fire is on Switch 2's Gameshare. So not everybody needs to have a full copy of the game. It can be shared between systems. Gameshare doesn't just work for local multiplayer either, it can be done online. So that increases the functionality of this game quite a lot. I don't know why they kept it sort of quiet. That figure that we came up with of £850 on how to make the game a multiplayer experience, it comes down a little bit, but you still need a Switch 2, you still need a camera, and the game's £150 less. Don't congratulate yourself too much. I do want to touch on how strangely written its official Nintendo page is. The sense of accomplishment you feel when the firebed turns into bright red embers and the pillars of flame illuminate the night sky is more powerful than any scoreboard. Yeah. The visuals are intentionally low poly, even so the flames appear in a bright orange gradation thanks to HDR support. An eye-catching vividness and a deep soothing sensation. Savour them both. In a world that's always rushing, reclaim the simple joy of just watching a fire. Campfires, humanity's oldest social network. It feels weird. It feels weird reading this. The game has started to be reviewed. I could only find one at the moment, and that is IGN. And their review is NR. They haven't rated it. They thought to put up a page on the game, but they didn't review it. There is one rating of a viewer, or a player, or a member, which scores the game as 10 out of 10, but as you can see, the review is a little fake. Truly a masterpiece, one of the best fire building simulators out there, and all for the low price of $15. I only just got this game, but I can tell you it will go down in history alongside other classics like Fortnite, Among Us and Super Paper Mario. Obviously, they're taking the piss. I feel as though if this game came out at any other time during the Switch 2's lifespan, it wouldn't be as bad, because there would be titles to distract yourself with. This is a game capitalizing on a very small Nintendo Switch 2 library at the moment, and that's the only leverage that it sort of has. It's incredibly troubling that the game has an appeal as low as it does, and it was featured as highly as it was in the Nintendo Direct. Do a Discord call or something. It's not competitive. It's not. This is the lowest of the low. Yeah, no, that's all it is. The partner showcase in general is sort of like something I would have expected during a mid-console generation cycle. Like, this is the thing that the original Switch would have gotten in 2021. So there are some positives. You know, it's available on Gameshare. It's not as expensive as we thought it was, at least not anymore. But just remember, it is incredibly difficult to refund digital Switch games. So if anyone seriously is considering getting this, you may well be stuck with it. I'm seriously bewildered at the moment that something like this is real. Okay, that's it from me. We will very likely never hear of any sales figures, and I know that the team won't be desperate or dying to say anything about this game itself. So I guess we'll see what the future says.